everybody's got to be experiencing that feeling of squishy, being squished, like it's a squeeze.
Yeah.
As the planet is, it's going through this birthing canal. And I feel like it's going to take a few years. But we're going to feel that. And maybe it's not. Maybe we'll see it after the first of the year. I could only pray. Because
Right.
I don't know about you, but I don't know how much more I can handle of, like, you remember what it was like to birth a child?
Yep.
And,
I don't think it'll take a few years, but I do think it'll take a year.
right? As we go through the turmoil of everything that's happening, I mean,
Right.
we're not to the end of this by any means.
No.
We're, I would say, where are we in our contractions?
So what I'm feeling from all of that is that it feels like there aren't choices anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel that something is wrong, but there is no choice as to what to do about it. I only have like one path. Right? My path is laid out. I can see it in front of me. I don't maybe like it, but when I look around for other options and for other choices, I'm like, they're not there. What's going on? Which tells me that we're all being, like you said, that we're all being squeezed, and my path is that way. And it's up, and it's up, and anybody who's not keeping up with me is going to fall to the wayside.
Yeah, whoever's not on that path is now just going to fall away if they can't, like, I want to say, like, catch a ride. They're catching shirt tails, as you're going through it, they're going, oh, wait, I want to go too.
Yeah.
And some people just aren't in that space.
No, I think a lot of people aren't in that space.
Right. And it's okay.
Or they think they want to be, but they can't.
Why would you say
right? Like they recognize that it's a thing. They want to be a part of it, but for whatever reason, probably just fear, they can't.
Yeah, I would see that.
But there aren't choices. I mean, your choice is go or stay. You don't have a choice of where you go. It's either go or stay.
So it's either you're going to shift into the 45D or you're going to stay in 3D.
Correct.
I mean, we talked about that before where I believe, Earth splits, like we split. And 3D goes one way and 45D goes the other way. And I think that the path that we're on right now, if you're not on it soon,
right,
you aren't going to ascend with it. Now, I could be wrong, but,
that's how I'm being told that it happens. And it doesn't mean that 3D won't eventually get there, but they're not going to go at the same speed, at the same time. They won't even know that we're a thing after a while.
Right. I see
because
that.
We're going to split so far off that they're going to do their own journey. And I think they'll do it eventually. I mean, whether it's this planet or some other planet, they'll get there. But this is the bus. We're on the bus now. And they're either going to get on our bus or they're going to have to take another bus another day.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Another time for them. At some point, there'll be another time, right?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so.
It's a split in the timeline at this point where we're going to split and go one direction. And if they're not ready, that's okay. There's more lessons for them to learn. And they'll do it at another time. Sure. Because it's just an ascension process that we're all going through.
Yeah, I don't think people have a choice as to whether to ascend or not ascend. I think people do have a choice as to now or later.
Yes.
But I don't think they have a choice of yes or no.
No, I agree with that. That they, we're all in an ascension process, whether we know it or not.
Right.
It's just a matter of where we're at, and it doesn't matter where we're at.
Right.
I mean, there's no one better than another one just because they're in a different space.
Right.
Just where you're at. And I think right now is an important time to that going within. It's focusing with what do you need to do on your path.
Right.
And those that are following will follow along, on their path as well. But some of them may see the fork in the road and go, yeah, I'm going this way.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of continuing on the path that they may even have been on. I've seen that happening too, where some are on this path and all of a sudden they're like, nope, I'm off.
They can't keep up. It gets too hard and they can't keep up.
Oh, and I can feel that. Like as we're going through the birth canal right now. Holy crap, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even, what we know can help us move us through that, but that doesn't make it any easier for us either.
No, no, because we still have to do our work and stay current with our emotions and do our thing. I mean, if we don't, we won't be able to keep up.
Right. Well, and that's what I think I'm feeling right now. There is some resistance there of moving forward, of going, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm really tired, and I know that I need to keep moving forward. And I think when we get that, what I found helps me when I get into that space is like literally shutting everything off and like not being connected, like going out into nature and just,
Oh yeah, for sure.
or sitting by the pool, or just being in nature and allowing, just doing nothing. Because
Yep.
I think we need to rejuvenate, because remember, everything's energy, right?
Right.
So we are experiencing some of the energy, I think, that's going on. Look at everything that's happening on the planet. How can we not have some experience with that energy, because we are all part of that energy?
So when I'm scanning people in my office right now, I'm finding stress and anxiety and mineral deficiencies being the biggest, and pain. Those are the biggest things that people are dealing with right now. And it's really bizarre because they're telling me, I'm not super busy. We're quarantined at home, things are not really crazy, but I feel so anxious and I feel so stressed. And when I scan them, it comes up. I'm like, oh my goodness, your adrenals are fatigued. You're deficient in minerals. I'm like, I just scanned you a month ago. What's going on?
Right?
Right. And they're telling me nothing changed. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess it did change.
Yeah, but if picking up the frequency of everything going around you,
Yep.
I don't think people understand how important the frequency of everything around you is, because it's shaping your being. Like,
Yes.
you're reacting to it whether you know it or not, which is causing that stress. We don't think
Yep.
we're stressed because we're not physically, doing anything or experiencing anything.
Or they're not ill.
Right.
Right? They're not ill. So frequency reacts with their nervous system, and their nervous system runs on minerals. So their nervous system is literally being depleted of minerals. They're using up all of their nutrient reserves in their body to handle this frequency shift. And it's coming out in the nervous system because that's where the depletion is happening first.
So we're seeing more anxiety because of that?
Way more in people who have never had it before.
Right. Yeah,
and it's different than the anxiety that comes through from wearing a mask. I see that anxiety also, and it's different.
Interesting.
That anxiety comes more from a lack of oxygen in the blood.
Yeah.
And that's about the nutrient delivery.
Yeah, because if we're inhaling our same regurgitated oxygen,
correct,
we re-oxygenate the body. So correct. It's important that you take those masks off in the car.
Correct. Like, it creates a lot of acidity in the body, right? It's going to take your body into an acidic state.
Yeah.
And it creates a lot of inflammation. So anybody who's got pain issues anyway, if you wear a mask too long and reduce your oxygen, your pain is going to be worse.
So speaking of oxygen, what's that new machine you got? Is that going to help?
Yes, that's exactly why we brought it in. In the detox spa we just got today, and I'm so excited to try it. And it's an oxygen concentrator. So it pulls oxygen out of the atmosphere and it lets you breathe it in. Technically, it's called recreational oxygen, but it will boost the oxygen content of your entire body, of your bloodstream. So anybody who's been wearing a mask, you need to come in and get an oxygen treatment on a pretty regular basis. Anybody who has headaches, any lung conditions, anybody who has anxiety or stress, you need to boost the oxygen. Anybody who's got circulation issues or is fatigued, chronic fatigue responds so well just to boosting the oxygen. The list goes on and on and on of the things that would benefit, the people that would benefit from just having a 20-minute oxygen treatment once a week.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for this.
I know. I can't wait for you to come and try it.
I know I've looked into it before, and that they've always said oxygen therapy would be good for me. And
Yep.
I'm like, oh, finally, I don't have to go search it out. And
Right.
it's right there. So yeah.
It helps someone overcome Lyme disease. It helps someone overcome chronic fatigue syndrome. It helps with pathogens. It helps with the big cancer word, because cancer doesn't like oxygen.
Right.
Right. So all of these conditions can be benefited just by the simple application of oxygen.
Wow. Yeah. That's so cool.
It's very cool.
I'm so excited for that. Yeah. And back to, people are being confined into their homes more than normal. So that's going to make you feel apprehensive, no matter what. Still, I mean, we're taking away a lifestyle that we're used to, and we've been thrown into a new way of life, whether we like it or not.
Correct.
There's some stress that goes along with that as well.
Yep.
Because and then I think that's what you're seeing with like relationships, because people are not used to being home with their partners 24/7. Whole new dynamic happening there.
Yep.
And if they're not on the same page,
right.
And I think we're seeing domestic violence go up as well.
Correct.
Like, this is just not healthy in any form, shape, or matter.
No, not really.
But as we're going through that birthing canal, when you're having a baby, you go through the birthing pains. But when you get to the actual, when you get to the centimeter 10 or whatever, and you're like, oh, I have no more pain, I'm ready to push. And you're ready to let that energy go. And I'm really hoping that by the first of the year, this is what we see as we're birthing into that.
Yep. I'm actually seeing December.
Yeah. And, everybody knows we got to get through the political crap of the election. There's a lot going on out there.
Well, and I think that's also a result of the energy on the planet. Remember, if we're feeling squeezed, that means everybody is. And it doesn't matter what position you're in, what your job is, what your life is. Everybody, even the animals, are behaving different right now.
Right.
Because everybody is feeling that squeeze, that pressure, that restriction, right? Everybody feels restricted for some reason. So they're acting it out by physically restricting people.
Well,
that's how it's showing up.
We know that, Earth is going through the embodiment of all of this energy too.
Yep.
So that's why we're seeing climate weird stuff, changes, earthquakes, volcano. I mean, anything you name, earthwise, tsunamis, all of these things are happening because Mother Earth is it's purging, right? And remember, the squeeze is happening to Earth.
Yep.
Going through that tunnel, that canal, to be able to rebirth into the other side. So of course she's going to experience it. So we're experiencing it. So it's like this whole mix of our emotions, Gaia's emotions, all kind of in this.
Yep.
What do you want to call it? A soup pot? Yeah, being stirred around.
Yep.
And so, what's your biggest suggestion on how people can move through that?
The biggest suggestion I have, honestly, is really silly, and it's very simple. Take your shoes off and go stand on the earth. That's it. Just go outside in your backyard, wherever you can get your bare feet on the dirt.
Yeah.
And just breathe.
Breathing and being in nature too. And it's like, I think too, is the gratitude for the beauty of what you can see right in front of you, like in this moment, being in this moment and being grateful in that moment. Because I know it's like there's a lot of turmoil that's been going on just in my being in the last couple weeks. Well,
anxiety is all about future stuff. Nobody's anxious about what's happening right this second or what happened before. Anxiety is all about future stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can practice being mindful, being in this moment, appreciating this moment just for what it is without expectation, that anxiety can be relieved quite a bit by just sitting in nature, breathing, being present with the birds or with the grass or with the smells. Just in this moment, there is no anxiety. It's all about future. Depression is about the past. Anxiety is about the future.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I see it in my clients as well, where they're experiencing a lot of resistance.
Yeah,
Which
because they're afraid of that future.
Right. Because what happens if I don't feel that feeling anymore?
Yeah.
Or what happens if I'm different?
Right.
And, you know, and
what happens if that person I thought was really important is not going to be really important?
Yeah, and then that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, then that turns your life upside down. And there's a whole nother basket of emotions that go with that.
Right. But to stay in this very moment right now, everything is perfect. Right now, you see, I'm healthy, I'm happy, it's a beautiful day, right? I'm in my office, I love helping people. This is right in this very moment, everything is great.
Yep.
But when we start thinking about, well, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or that's when we start to get anxious.
Yeah, and I you know, I think I tell my clients, this is, you got to bring it back to the present moment, and how can you shift your perception on what you're seeing? And even I've had to do that in the last couple of weeks. It's like, well, how can I look at it differently? You know, and it's not that you're not going to feel the emotion, because you will.
Yeah, well, you should. You should.
And we want to feel all the emotions. It's what we do with them. So we get to decide, well, how am I going to react to this emotion I'm having, or the situation that I'm in? We're always in a place of making a choice or a decision. That's it.
Yeah. So do you remember at the beginning I was talking about how putting your feet on the earth? And then further back, I was talking about the nervous system being affected by all the squeeze. So if you put your feet on the planet, it neutralizes your nervous system. All the negative and positive ions of the nervous system get neutralized. Awesome. Right? So that is the solution to balancing the nervous system.
And you would say it has to be like dirt or grass or something, not cement, right?
Correct. Has to be earth.
Yeah, has to be earthly.
Right.
It's
right.
fine.
So sand is fine. Water is fine. Grass, gravel, dirt, clay, mud.
I think that's why so many people are calmed by the ocean.
Yes.
Because it's Mother Nature's way of kind of lullaby, you know? It's going back and forth, so.
And it forces you to be present because of all the different sounds and the different sights and the different things going on. It forces you to be right in your moment.
Right. That's awesome.